Hello guys, happy Ramadan. It is now 4:30 AM and I'm filming this because it is the most quietest time of the day, and today's video is a little bit different from my usual vlogging. I think today's video is more of like a sit down and listen to my journey on how I managed to get into the dream school of mine 6 years ago. Yes, I really hope that this video is targeted to the right audience, and since Polytechnic is starting in a few weeks, I figured why not share you guys my journey towards getting into the school of my choice and process along with it how I managed to end up where I am today. Just a disclaimer, I cannot speak for all courses because I am a student who graduated from School of Applied and Health Science. I guess it might apply to certain courses, but again, I can't really speak for all. I hope you guys do listen because it's an inspiring story. I'm just kidding. I'm having a little bit of a sore throat again. I think this is my third time having an infection at my throat for the past 1 month, and I don't want to go to the doctor because every time I go to the doctor it's always because of the same issue. I'm not sure if there's something to be alarmed about, but yeah, let's get right into the video. If not, I'm gonna be babbling a lot. For context, let's put it this way. I am an ITE student. Is that surprising? It's not really that much of a surprise. I was an ITE student, recently graduated from Nitec. I studied 2 years full-time Nitec in Community Care and Social Services. I like how I had to think about what course I was in 2 years ago. I applied for this course. It is under the School of Applied and Health Sciences. If you are a student who are taking their N-levels, thinking about, I want to apply for School of Applied Health Science, bear in mind that only College East has that. If you're living somewhere in the west, if it's really your passion and interest, and you don't mind traveling the far distance, it can get up to 1 hour 45 minutes to 2 hours depending on your mode of transport. It can also be lesser if every day you take Grab. If you have your own private transportation, obviously you can reach school faster than that. But people like me who don't have the means to take out driver's license, take the bus. The cat's out of the box. I was a student studying full-time Nitec in Community Care and Social Services. That particularly wasn't really my ideal choice. You guessed it, I landed myself in ITE. So let's throw back about 6 years ago. I never really spoke about this, but I think it's time I move on and share with you guys. I mean, some of you guys might or might not know my story. You know my name, not my story. Sorry. My father passed away 6 years ago, and at that point of time I was only 13 years old. I just turned 13 before he passed away. Hospital was kind of like my second home at that time, but I never really had an interest, or I never really wondered what nurses do. My sister was a student in Nanyang Polytechnic. She studied full-time Diploma in nursing. Knowing that my sister was in Diploma in nursing, she seemed to be enjoying herself at that point of time. I really wanted to get into Polytechnic because I think every Singaporean's dream is to not go to ITE. I've never heard anyone who mentions that, I want to go into ITE. I mean, there is nothing wrong with being an ITE because I am in ITE. Dream big. 2018, my sister graduated from nursing. I walked to Nanyang Polytechnic because I attended her graduation ceremony. I saw the exterior of Nanyang Polytechnic. You know what? I want to be in this school. Okay, Nanyang Polytechnic is going to be the school that I want to be in, because there were 5 different polytechnics in Singapore. I wanted nursing because I saw how my sister graduated from nursing, and I think I kind of sort of already realized that I kind of do well, alhamdulillah, in science related subjects. Okay, you know what, let's pursue nursing. And somehow I think because of the passion and the compassion that the nurses has given to my father, and I think the nurses has also extended their help to my family, I think it kind of helped me a lot in terms of choosing my career path. I knew that I love helping people. Nursing was actually one of those jobs that actually does that. Back then I never heard of physiotherapist, occupational therapist, or a social worker. At that point of time, obviously I wasn't well educated. Only 2 polytechnics in Singapore offers nursing. It was either Ngee or Nanyang Polytechnic. I based on practicality. Number 1, Nanyang Polytechnic is a more experienced institution when it comes to nursing. Another reason, aside from Nanyang Polytechnic being the more experienced school in nursing, secondly is the distance to my house. I believe that Ngee Poly is definitely far more further than my house. And number 3, my lecturer used to be in Nanyang Poly. I see my lecturers as someone who is very highly educated. When I know that my lecturer is an ex-student there, I feel so honored. Wow, Mr. Sofian, you used to study here. I'm a very proud student. That's why I chose Nanyang Polytechnic. After N-levels, got my results back. I got a 13 point. Kind of disappointed because I was just 1 point away from getting into Poly Foundation program. Again, even if I did get 12, I did not qualify. My English, Math and Best 3 was a grade 1 to 3. I think it was worse than that. My Math was a grade 4. Anyways, ITE was the only option. I mean, there was the direct Poly program because I was offered I can go straight into higher Nitec. And I saw the higher Nitec courses, I was like, It really kind of sucked. I knew that high Nitec wasn't an option. I applied though. Okay, let's just apply. My plan was that if I was offered a high Nitec course, I would reject that. But that plan backfired because I wasn't even shortlisted. When I applied for Nitec, I was contemplating between Nitec in Nursing and Nitec in Community Care and Social Services. At first, my draft application, I put Nitec in Nursing as a first choice and Nitec in Community Care is the second choice. My third choice was Nitec in Opticianry, and the following choices were actually applied science courses. I didn't want to be in engineering. I also didn't want to be in business. During my final application, I applied for Nitec in Community Care as my first choice. To be frank, I honestly don't even know anything about that course, so I applied for it, got shortlisted, went for an interview and got in. Studied 2 years. I think the different modules expanded my knowledge. Who are the healthcare workers? That's where I learned more about the existence of these allied health professionals like medical social workers, psychologists, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, respiratory therapists. Okay lah, even though I hated that course, I couldn't really say 100% it's all bad. There is good things like meeting Mrs. Sophian. I'm kidding. I've met wonderful people who are really passionate in this industry. And I like how they applied this course because their reason was I want to become a social worker, I want to become an occupational therapist. And the reason I joined this course was because I'm afraid of being in nursing. The second year, I actually applied for Diploma in Nursing at Nanyang Polytechnic and Nanyang Polytechnic via the EAE Early Admission Exercise for ITE students. O-level students can also apply. So I applied for both Nanyang and Nanyang Polytechnic because I knew that even though I wanted Nanyang Polytechnic, I couldn't risk losing a spot. Nanyang Polytechnic was my first choice. Got shortlisted for both schools and I went for an interview. My first interview was with Nanyang Polytechnic. On the day that I was supposed to go for my Nanyang interview, I fell asleep and missed that interview, and I was like thinking to myself, because I knew that I screwed up my Nanyang Polytechnic interview. I was so surprised that later on I got in. Now let's go into how or what are the process of trying to get into Nanyang Polytechnic and how I managed to get into it. I graduated Nitec in Community Care and Social Services with a GPA of 3.969 without CCA point. For ITE students, I would strongly recommend you to apply through early admission exercise. Applications will open about July. The process goes is that you have to write 600 characters write-up. Being a Singaporean, I'm very kanchong. Once you have done 600 characters write-up, you will then submit it along with you have to upload certain documents online, achievements, awards, certificates, result slips. You have to wait until you receive an email stating that hey, you have been shortlisted. You will then have to go for an interview. On that day of the interview, you talk with the interviewer, and once you're done, you wait for another few months, 1.5 months, and you will get your posting result, whether your application was successful or not. There are different scenarios. So the first scenario is you have been selected, so you have been given a spot. You can choose to accept or you can choose to decline the offer. If you want to accept, you have to accept it within a certain period of time before the closing date, or else your offer might lapse. When you choose to change your mind, there is like this specific date, time or deadline that you have to do it. So let's say at the beginning you press I don't want to be in this course. Before the stipulated deadline, you can actually change it and accept that course. But let's say in the event that you were unsuccessful in your application, they will say unfortunately you have not been selected to get into this course. We do appreciate you for your time in participating in the early admission exercise, but do know that for ITE students, the minimum GPA requirement to enter Polytechnic is 3.5. So even if you were given the offer, it is on conditional offer. So you have to still meet the 3.5 GPA upon graduation from ITE. If I'm not meeting that requirement, your place will be revoked. So let's say upon graduation from ITE, your final results is out. There's two things that can happen. First of all, you did meet the minimum GPA requirement of 3.5. When you meet the minimum GPA requirement, you will receive a notification saying that congratulations, you have been accepted and your offer has been confirmed. And if let's say you didn't meet the GPA requirement, they will revoke your offer. Why I recommend you to enter via the early admission exercise is because you are battling against few different people for a polytechnic spot. Working adults, O-level students, TE students across different campuses. Yeah, so during my interview, it was like a group interview. Places can be very competitive. For this EAE actually allows you to confirm as long as you meet the GPA requirements needed for you to be enrolled in the school. So I hope this video kind of helped you guys. If there are any missing points, I will definitely try to add in. Or if there's like some parts where I am in different clothes, I am really sorry. I'm going to go and eat my meal now because I'm gonna fast in about 30 minutes.